Curtis DIYer.
DIYers. Recently, Joe Budden and all his success with the Joe Budden podcast sat down with another artist in the game in good old Jim Jones. Jim Jones has a series or a podcast called Artist to Artist, and he was asking a bunch of different questions to Joe Budden. And then they got around to the question about how he views where the music industry is going. And Joe had some rather doom and gloom words about the music industry, the traditional music industry, the major label music industry, and what we could possibly be looking forward to in 2026. But also in this conversation, I bring you a bit of comfort, especially if you identify as a DIYer.
DIYer.
Not only did he say that DIY is the future, in his own words, but his actual manager, Ian Schwartzman, he really did say DIY is the future. We'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to take this clip 14 minutes into this podcast, and let's react to it.
How do you feel about where music's headed?
Oh, maybe I should take that off of 2.5 speed, huh? Okay, be telling on myself. Here we go.
For the art, how you feel about where music is headed for the artists?
The music business or just niggas making music?
The music business.
No, it's not good. It's not
Damn.
good. It's not going nowhere good. It's bad. It's pretty bad. But I've been saying that for a while. They lowering the value of music, and it's just a tech company now. It's a tech and data company, really. Disguised music is just a trick. It's a tech and data company, and if you're not participating in that, on that wave, if you're just talking about singles and music and videos and whatever's on the front end, then the boat passed already.
It's interesting to hear that. Hold on. First of all, I'm starting off with truth. It's interesting to hear Joe Budden say that because he's not the first person that I heard say that the music industry is now a tech industry. I think what's really interesting is that coming up as an artist myself in like the beginning 2000s to the mid 2000s, 2010s, I should say, the conversation was that major labels are banking systems that offer predatory loans and, ways that it's going to be damn near impossible for most artists to pay back. They were seen as banks, but now it's seen as a tech industry, especially post the streaming era. So all of that makes complete sense. It also makes this obsession that so many of these labels seem to have with getting in bed with the Sunos of the world. And getting in bed with the AI music-based companies. Well, it's a tech industry. Why don't they just do it? Why don't they stop acting like they're not a thing that they've been trying to be? I feel like they've been working artists like machines anyways. You might as well become that thing that you said, that you've been implying that you are. So it becoming a tech business, especially after the streaming era, and you see how much of a monopoly even these apps, these social media apps, how much of a monopoly they have over the game because the labels don't own the algorithms, they don't own the news feeds, they gotta pay like everybody else. Interesting.
Right.
So what does that do for the artist that has hopes of being a rapper and dreamed of being a rapper and is very talented and has the real talent to do so?
Listen, niggas play the lotto every day.
Damn. I can imagine a bunch of artists stopping right here and saying that's about enough. All this time that I dedicate to my music, all this time that I dedicate to this money that I dedicate to mixing and going to studios. What you mean niggas win the lottery every day?
The music business is the lotto. Like, there will be less than 1% of you to really get shit moving out here.
Damn.
That's a fact.
Niggas still play the lotto.
100%.
You trying to say we just a were you trying to say us as artists if you trying to pursue the traditional music business, you trying to say we all pawpaws out here?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Why don't you go down there to the liquor store? Why don't you go down there to the grocery store and give me a few of them scratches? Is that what we all pawpaws? We all, even your young ass is a pawpaw. Trying to go to the music. You wanna go to the music business? You trying to change shit over there? Is that right? You scratching off lottery tickets like everybody else. That is insane. No wonder so many of us go DIY. No wonder so many of us go direct to consumer in our businesses because there is so much potential when you build a actual business with structure underneath it. But he's not talking about every business that involves music. It seems like he's talking about the traditional record business. And I mean, when you see the type of egregious things they've been doing, like the deal that Warner just did with Suno, I'm like, what do you want? What are you doing? They're becoming the techs. They're becoming a part of that world. They've become that world. And it's less about trying to figure out how to partner with artists. It seems to me they would prefer to have artists, former artists, that are prepared to be programmers of whatever AI ventures they have. But yeah. Go ahead, Pawpaw.
Like, niggas could go do, I don't want to sell like a sob story. You could 100% go do music and make all the money that comes from that. Your show money, your merch money. And at the end, hopefully you own some of your masters and your publishing money, and you could sell that. That's what niggas are doing today. They're selling the catalog.
They are.
That's what they're doing.
They are.
So
I would even argue they're selling the catalog over to investors that are directly connected to AI. I hate that it keeps coming back to that, but that is the big story of things that are happening. I wonder if all those artists that got those big payouts, right? The Waynes, the Nicki Minaj's, the who else? There's a few different. Iggy Azalea. I wonder. Or not Iggy Azalea. Who was it? Iggy. She got hers. I wonder how many of them are looking at that and saying, "Oh, but I didn't know you was gonna do that with it. I thought you was gonna put it in commercials. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have." I really feel like that's been the play the entire time. Feed me your catalog. I will feed it into this data training. A deal is a deal.
There's a way there, but where it's going and how many of us they even allowing in, who they allowing in, like that window is getting smaller and smaller. I was just saying that the other day when in my day niggas was spending the night outside of the labels, and when niggas spent the night in front of Def Jam for a month straight, that was his. He drove from West
North
Bubblefuck
Carolina somewhere
and had a sleeping bag. Niggas was stepping over this nigga going to Def Jam. Like,
you remember that era where people was stopping rappers? And I'm pretty sure, I guess it happens in some capacity today, but remember when artists, when rapper was stopping other rappers or stopping anybody who's walking into like the Def Jam building and was like, let me just rap for you. I got my demo. Like, that was a real time period that people were rushing to whatever deal that they was going to be able to get. Please do me wrong. Please take advantage of me and my music. I can use it. Insane to think that was a time period that we lived through.
that's how you had to do it. You had to run up. Now, it don't matter. It don't matter. Even if you got a deal. Like, they ain't even putting albums out, really.
It's crazy to see how the music game has changed. And then it's like, for artists that's trying to do something, is even scarier. Like you said, if you want to get a deal and you ain't got no analytics or you ain't got no numbers, you're not going to get in the building or you're not going to get in a position to get a deal. Yeah, you could put your music out because there's so many digital platforms that release music on all platforms and things like that. But as far as you getting a deal or getting some financial backing and things like that, you're not going to get in the building.
How can I do that when I'm watching 21-year-old crypto niggas make 8 figures?
Sheesh.
How can I comfortably do that? How can I do that when I'm watching the young lit streamer niggas go make 7, 8, and 9 figures? How can I feel? How can an artist? How can the farm league, the next generation of artists, feel comfortable going to a label, signing all your rights away, and crossing your fingers and hoping for the best?
That's the question I have for any artist that starts to gain momentum, and enough momentum to where it gives them a bit of leverage when they sit down at the table with these labels. If you have that kind of motion and momentum, I understand wanting to scale, because really that's what it is, right? You're hoping to build a partnership with these companies that have a reputation in the music business. The association alone could make your brand worth something to a lot of different people. It can help foster and create relationships with people that otherwise will look the other way. I get that aspect of it, right? And access to capital, access to just things that you normally wouldn't get independently. But if you're making profit. And knowing how predatory these deals can be and how much it is a matter of, all right, here's this money, but I need that with interest. Knowing how these deals play out, knowing how unpredictable, it's crazy to me how people will sign these deals. Like I'm thinking about LeAngelo Ball right now, who signed a multi-million-dollar deal. What have we heard from him since? Maybe the album's coming in 2026 and maybe all of that will be settled, but it got me wondering, like, somebody got to pay that money back. And they're looking for the music to do that. You cannot predict the behavior of people on the other side. So I look at these artists and I'm like, if you have that kind of motion, why wouldn't you just continue to build your small team and get certain people taking care of certain things, right? Get somebody who is, if you're in the streaming game, right? Which I don't understand if you're trying to make profit, but getting somebody who is playlist shopping, right? Or pitching to playlists, getting somebody who is in charge of your graphic design and photography, getting somebody that is in charge of the music production and the engineering, like having these things already in place. If you have that, you have the team that you need to start to make that money for you. And then now that we're talking about it, we're in the space of live streaming, you now can go build another stream of revenue, because that's really all we're doing, right? We're using music as a medium to expose us to new people who will potentially be fans of the brand. And the brand can be extended into different directions. The brand could then become, you as a live streamer. It can be you as a guest sports analyst, whatever else that you're into, right? I think about Action Bronson and his cooking show. There's so many other places because of the avenue of the introduction of music and you being great at it and building a fan base off of it. I just don't understand at this point why an artist would want to do it outside of laziness or outside of fear that they cannot do it themselves or outside of anything other than, I'm not talking about people who are making partnerships and that are trying to scale, but I think too many artists are scaling too quickly when the money just started flowing in. Make it make sense.
It's not fun. That's not fun.
It's not fun, and where does that leave the artist? Like it's just the Wild West for everybody. It's like it's no ins, there's no outs. Like you hearing what you're saying? Like it's like, so for artists now want to be artists, they making it seem like there's no more money in the music industry for the average artist, right? But then you turn around and say there's a bunch of money inside with the streamers. They're making 8-9 figures and things like that. So how do you mix the two?
Well,
I'm talking for the younger generation, because for us, it was just music. That was an end-all, be-all. Now it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit trickier.
No, it's true. Now it's different. Like my son rap and want to do the rap shit. He playing it. It's a different game than.
I like that for those who are fans of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, in choice of words. Just really quick, Jim Jones said it's difficult. It's difficult. Joe Budden said it's different. I like that. Like that. That's a subtle shift. I'm not sure if he did that on purpose, but that's a subtle shift in your language that presents new results and how can I put this? It gives you hope for the future and it makes you see opportunity as opposed to doom and gloom. That's just something I noticed in the middle of this conversation. That was interesting.
But I did. I'm always side with the artist and the creator in trying times, because we the niggas that's gonna go in the room and create something. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they got all the rights, but that's because niggas keep giving up the rights. Any nigga that could go in a room, like you got that booth set up over there, and come up with something from absolutely nothing, if you just make the right decisions from that with the right team, then that can be lucrative. Like there's so many different revenue streams from your one song if you are maneuvering properly. Maybe now you got to wear two hats. Maybe now you got to be the streamer / rapper. And all day to tell if a song was hot, was the cars playing it driving by? Like what was happening outside? Now maybe it's how do I attack from inside? Yeah. Like
if I'd have known no better, it sounded like he was describing a DIY. You got to wear multiple hats. Okay, I got that. You got to do more than just making music. If I didn't know any better, that's him describing a DIYer, right? Which I think the traditional definition of a DIYer in music was this person who was running around like a damn fool. The one-man band who's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm doing everything. It's not that. You're talking about people who are efficient in multiple creative in their creative hats. They're in different departments of the art and different departments of the business. They're efficient at it. They're great at it. Some areas just decent, but enough to where they have little overhead and maximum profit. If you are like think about how many businesses that you're able to purchase a mic, purchase a sound interface, do a little bit of acoustic treatment to a room, and I can just make music here. I released a new song called Time the other day, right? I never promote my stuff on here because you're here for the stories. But I just released a song the other day. 2 people paid $20 each for that song. Not that it's about the money, but this shit is expensive. The equipment is expensive. The music is expensive. The promotion is expensive. Some of these platforms and subscriptions are very expensive. The plugins are expensive, especially because I produce as well. That can do some damage. For one song, that would have took me 3 to 6 months to get that money from streaming. But I can get that direct to consumer by putting it on my Bandcamp or my website. Are you kidding me? And having an audience pay what they want? Are you kidding me? When you see that kind of potential here, we're not talking about needing a large fan base. You just need a dedicated one, or ones that see the value in paying for a product called music. You don't need everybody. You just need the right people, the right bodies, and people who are dedicated to supporting that. I look at that and I'm like, dog, you just mentioned Mac Taylor. You just mentioned Master P. Can you imagine what Master P would do with 2025 as a young one? Can you imagine? He was doing it out the trunk. Could you imagine what damage he would have done with No Limit in this digital space? Okay, cool. They playing streaming like that. Cool. We're going to do direct to consumer. We're going to do these cover arts where it got the fire and everything around Mystical, the fire around, you know what I'm saying? Around anybody that was around. We're going to do all of that around Silk the Shocker. And then we're going to make these exclusive vinyl drops that you can only get on the website. He would kill it. Mia X, yes, they would kill it. We have the opportunity to do that now. Which is why I don't understand why people fight so much against the idea of it. We have the time right now to do it.
From not even leaving your room with the headset on, with the game. So I don't know. It's different today. But if you are an artist and you can make some shit, there'll be money.
So for you artists, hope you listen and don't get discouraged. Keep making
don't get discouraged.
That kind of looked like Jim Jones was discouraged for a second. You know, when you put somebody else's name out there, it looked like he was like, damn, this shit all fucked up. I had some music I was going to drop.
Don't get discouraged. Yo, they're never going to tell you how much money you can make from having 30,000 fans for your lifetime. They'll never tell you that. They'll never tell you how much money you can make from having 50,000 fans. That's it. No more. That's the ceiling.
A bag.
Dog.
If you got 50,000 people in your community that's invested in you and what you sell.
Out of here.
And you selling them shit constantly.
You out of here. You out of here. They're never going to tell you that because that will deter you from going the other route. So they're going to do what they always do, which is dangle a check over niggas' heads.
Yeah.
Let's just take that number for a second, all right? 50,000, and let's do that times 100. That's $5 million.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
That's $5 million. Now, I'm assuming most people who are watching this probably won't see 50,000, but let's get it. Let's say that at your peak, if you really establish a business, you build up your community, you have a strong and active email list, you're going direct to consumer. Let's just say you did 10,000 times $100. Each person is paying at least one time or throughout the year for one customer. That's $1 million. All right, let's say, you know what, 10,000 feels like that's too crazy. Let me shoot for 1,000. $1,000 times 100, which comes back to the 1,000 true fans. That's $100,000. Can you do something with $100,000, DIR?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
When you see it that way, it really makes this whole thing looks so different because you don't need success that the rest of the world validates, that Twitter understands, that a regular Joe Schmo at your job understands. No, they'll understand it when they see and go to your spot and say, damn, you're financing all of this off of just music drops? How many people do you have dedicated to you? 1,000? That don't sound sexy in interviews. That don't sound sexy for headlines on these big platforms. But damn it, don't it sound sexy to the person that's receiving that income with the low overhead? The future is DIY, my friends.
So we won't think about our business that we can make.
Go curate your own audience. That's what I'm saying to you.
Community.
And he's not just talking about music. He has a successful and thriving Patreon in which he's making multiple millions. Some of Joe Budden. We're talking about just beyond the music. You're thinking of a lot of artists immediately think about fan base. Oh, it's people who are fans of my music. They gotta all be fans of my music. Bullshit. If you're a gamer, if you're into anime and you have a fan base that loves your music because of your anime references, and for whatever reason, they want to congregate with each other and talk anime because you are the person that connected everybody, they will sign up with you. They'll join your Patreon. They'll join your community. And once they're in your community, there is a fee to pay that, right? There's a fee to be a part of that. There's a Discord. There's merchandise that goes along with that. There's shows that even go along with that. So you almost end up becoming a new version of an E3 conference, and that you are the person that brings everybody together. Your music is the common thread. 1,000 people. It's not just 1,000 people who are fans of your music. It's 1,000 people who have something in common with you and want to invest into an idea, a concept that relates to them. I love hearing Joe Budden talk this shit because he really don't have to tell nobody nothing, no kind of game, especially with the bullshit the industry and gave him.
However you do it, I don't give a fuck what you do, nigga. I follow the weirdest niggas on Instagram. It's niggas cooking weird shit. It's niggas doing weird shit with their girl. Now it's a joint business. We gonna wake up every day and get these niggas together. 5 skits. And then they telling you how we do it. It's niggas online today that's showing you their accounting.
100%. This is how I did it.
Yeah. That wasn't available to us. That wasn't available.
None of this was available. Like the information, the way they get information today, I wish we would have had. But who knows, we would have been too much for us. So
I'm saying the time we're living in is special. The time we're living in is special. Let's go ahead and extend this even more, this concept. Let's extend it even more. So Ian Schwartzman, who is the manager, I believe, of Joe Budden and his successful empire, he's always putting up information, sharing game and feedback in terms of how Patreon works and communities work. And I even seen him even investing into creator communities and people who are curating that. He says the industry of podcasting is going to crumble. For most, it's built on propped up false hope deals. The foundation can be enormous for creators, but they continue to choose safety over long-term stability and exponential growth. All the upside is handed over to corporations when it should be maintained by the creator. The majority of power for most rest in the hands of the companies cutting checks. Don't that just sound like the record business? He's talking about podcasting, doing the same thing. The creator community is terrified of building their own foundation, so they agreed to build skyscrapers for the big tech giants instead. That is exactly how artists sound when I tell them to go direct to consumer. They de-risk themselves, but it's an illusion. They are more at risk than doing it themselves. Don't you talk that DIY shit. The upside is always captured by the big companies, and the creators are left to fight for their value. This is where outliers like us, the Joe Budden Network, come into play. We represent the believers and the doers. We push all in with our chips, not for our personal gain, but to send a message to the larger community. DIY works is what he said.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
I said DIY. I said he said DIY works. All the people that I want to kick in the ass that gave me hell this last 3 years for pushing this DIY message. Oh, you just pushing false dreams. You're pushing an idea that people won't grasp. Yeah, please put them DIY emojis in here with the hammer and the wrench. the amount of asses I could just put a 12 size boot in their ass. DIY works. We knew it because we were living through it. Being scared is okay, but being a worker is scarier. Choose your path wisely. Shout out to him for sharing that message. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Boy, oh boy, all the asses I want to kick. All the people that I want to, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. We try. I told y'all. I tried to tell y'all. Courtney, we tried to tell them. They thought this thing was selling dreams. No, you left us no choice, some of us, than to be DIYers. For those of us that have any kind of sense, for those of us that use logic, for those of us that have critical thinking, for those of us that can fast forward past the shiny money, the shiny tricks, the shiny promises, for those of us that can fast forward and imagine ourselves, right? Let me use an example. It's almost like being able to look at a new car that you want and say, how would I feel about this new car when it got dusty? Would it just be another car? In your mind, when you're envisioning the things that you want, it's always at its most cleanest and shiny. But what happens if you imagine it in its real state after a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? You got a scratch on the side. How do you feel about it now? So this is what I'm saying now. This is the time for you. If you're an artist and you're not bitch made, and that is not reserved for any specific gender when I say that. If you're not bitch made, if you believe in your art so much and you bang for your art so much, stop letting these people make you believe in this idea of a starving artist being the more authentic thing to be. That was programming. Have you ever asked the question, where did that idea and concept of a starving artist even come from? And whether or not you have anything in common with the person that started it? What if it was started by a rich person? What if it was started by a rich person laughing at somebody who was a creative, looking down upon you and saying, oh, you're just a starving artist. And then we took it and wore it like a jacket. Don't wear that jacket. You know better. Especially if you in this DIYer community. You make art. Art should be paid for. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a little bit of a turn because I wasn't even expecting to cover this. But shout out my dog, Mick Jenkins, because he has been putting belt to ass on a lot of shit. He put out his project, and obviously he's pricing it at where he feels like his art should be paid for. This person told him, well, this is another one, but they said, so why haven't you made it to the mainstream? And don't give me no reason. It doesn't matter because it does since you want to talk all day. I don't know who this is. This is what niggas do when they wrong, says Mick. Live clockwork, or light clockwork. I make a nice living making art. I already won. Mainstream is not the goal. Mainstream music is a con game. Pay to play is a slut job. Ooh. But you're an analyst, right? You don't know that already. Niggas ain't played the game, but they talking about the game. Watching it from the sides is not the same. I put this message up too. I said a singular song might be worthless to you. The idea of paying for art may seem ridiculous to you, and you're not alone. Thankfully, everyone doesn't think like you do. Another $20 for a song I haven't even dropped content for yet. We make music for people, not algorithms.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna
Talk to me nicely. I'm gonna see if I can find. Here it goes. Somebody said, really? Really want that Mick Jenkins vinyl, but $100? Was not expecting that price point. Mick Jenkins says, that's where I value my art. I know that's right. We only made 100. I don't operate at a level where I can sell vinyl for $30 and make a living. It is available on streaming for less than a cent a listen, though. Hope that helps. You're talking about Mick Jenkins, one of the most incredible writers of our time. But because of the title of musician, because of the title of rapper, because of the title of lyricist, this type of behavior is okay. To talk to them directly like that. I couldn't imagine, even if you felt that way, I couldn't imagine saying that to the person that put their blood, sweat, and tears into their art form. thank God there's enough of us out here who are willing to support, who are willing to take these risks, because it's going to look a lot less riskier when those people who have been pursuing the traditional industry sees that they don't want you anymore unless you know how to code an AI artist. DIYers, those are my thoughts. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.